Welcome, everyone, to the second stop of the Rangers Ed Rivalry Tour. Devils tonight. This is Cousin Ed back from paternity leave. Took a little longer leave than probably Miko did, but um, it was a similar leave that he had, but mine was just a little
Wait,
longer.
Mika's back from paternity leave?
No, he's not. But I'm back. Excited to be back. What is up, guys? Man, I'm happy. Finally, we could talk some Rangers hockey. The Rangers play hockey this month. It's a good time to be back, and I'm just excited overall for this season. I don't know why, but I am.
I'm excited about that prospects gate we're going to go to.
Oh, when's that? 2 weeks, right?
Not less, 9 days.
Yeah, next weekend.
PJ's like, it's in about 636 hours and 44 minutes.
It's felt like the longest summer, and just how bad that year was, because it felt like the year ended even before it did, and I'm craving. I'm like itching. I need something. I need a game.
Yeah, what you sent me on Instagram today was pretty exciting news. All right, whatever. Not news, but something even bigger to look forward to for next weekend.
Yeah, NHL is doing their rookie showcase where they do like the NHLPA does, and Gabe Perreault is representing the Rangers. So I think there's a pretty good possibility we see him in Allentown, which will be really exciting.
Oh,
okay. I don't want to put too much pressure on the situation, but he should probably dominate a little bit that weekend, so it should be exciting.
Yeah, you're setting him up.
You got to do what I did.
If he's going to make the Rangers, he better dominate this rookie series camp, So
you got to do what I did with Pete Alonso, guys. When I met, I didn't meet him, but I got an autographed baseball from Pete Alonso at spring training his rookie season by sending my wife down with the kids to get the ball signed. I did not go. So if you want a Gabe Perreault autograph, PJ, send the wife down to get the puck signed, because he's not going to sign your puck. It's not happening. And bring two. All right.
Wait a minute. I remember you being in the picture with him.
No. I wish, man. Yeah, but that's the way to go. You want the autographs from the rookies, send the wife down or the kid, and you'll get the autograph.
Yes. Jenna, you're welcome on the show anytime.
Oh, I love that. All right, well, we're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. Jack Hughes in the comments already. We're 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the episode.
I could see Neil smiling behind stage. He can't wait.
Yeah. So that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. And Little Ed, we saw that, I saw that you did your fair. You talked about it last week in the episode a little bit, or the week before. But you're still, still going strong, still selling stuff from that. I see the plaque behind you. That awesome, unbelievable craftsmanship, dude. Like, I love not only is it a quote, but you put 100% in like big bold letters like this. You emphasize the quote well. The picture, it's such a nice touch. And I love the wood feel. I know you work almost exclusively with wood. Personally, I love that look. It's like very rustic look. And
it's 3-dimensional, which makes it really nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The bottom piece came off. The bottom molding came off, Ed.
I know it got well, shout out to Jen, Nate Dogg's mom. If you guys remember the kid that was at the opening night suite last year, the kid Nate that bought the sneakers from me, his mom ordered the sneakers from me for Christmas for him and stuff like that. So shout out to Jen. I didn't even post this on Instagram. I posted a picture of Lindsay and I at the fair, and this was like in the picture, like on the table. So like she like spotted it from there, messaged me and said, "How much, like, can I buy that Gretzky plaque if it's still available, or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So it was in storage, like in one of our boxes, and it got dinged up. So I got to fix the bottom frame and spray and paint it again. So that's why I took it off. But yeah, if you guys are listening, hop on over to YouTube or follow Little Ed's Workshop on Instagram for all my stuff. But yeah, I appreciate what you said, Cuz, about it. I don't know. I just like when I'm designing things like that, I just like, I want like certain words to stand out, I guess. So that's why like important parts of the quote, I guess, the ones that like make that like whatever, like that are, you don't really need the other part of the quote. You know exactly what it is just by reading 100% of and shots,
Yeah.
And then I love that. And I love that Gretzky logo. Coach Ed, I think, has like a turtleneck with it on there.
That's from the restaurant, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
He
they
used to
burned.
wear
on,
all
like-
of them too.
Yeah,
like
I
under
got the mini hockey stick from there that we got, and the puck and all that. He sold he had like a whole gift shop there. We spent like $150 there. Remember that?
Yeah.
I did.
No,
I don't know.
I think
it no longer exists.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
a
I'm
restaurant
glad I
closed
did
I
now.
missed that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a
Yeah,
little like
appreciate
almost Hall of Fame section too. It's like that hallway. It was like he almost had his own.
Yeah, it was his own museum in the restaurant.
Yeah, it was sick.
So yeah, I mean, Coach Ed had some pointers on what I should have done, but Jen loved it just the way it was, and I'm a huge fan of like doing the signatures too. I think that's super cool. Like that just shows like how detailed the laser can be. Like when those pieces come out of the machine, like it's hard not to break them. Like that's how like thin the wood is when it's done. It's crazy. So yes, I come up with the ideas, but I have a lot of help with my laser behind me. Laser. Yeah.
Laser. And
Yeah.
I should have said, and I did say right before we went on the episode, that this episode is brought to you by Lucarelli's Law. It's my first time back.
You're rusty. It's okay.
If you're in Florida and you need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law and tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. You just Google Lucarelli Law, pulls it up for you. Give them a call. They do civil, criminal, awesome. The great law firm, and Dom is a great guy. You guys saw him in a previous episode. He came on with Shrimp, and was on the pod. So you guys saw him. He's great, and definitely give him a call. Florida. So I gotta say, I spent about $500 on Fanatics and MSG Shop and we're at eBay, a couple other places on Rangers, Giants, and Mets stuff for Patrick. And it took them a and a half to send the Rangers stuff for some reason. I don't know why, but I just got it today. And that the most exciting part of being a dad for me right now is just dressing him in that every single day. I'm just gonna cover him in that stuff. And I feel like it's important. Like people are like, oh, does he have to wear it every day? Whatever. And I'm like, guys, I live in Florida. I live 10 minutes from the Panthers arena, literally 10 minutes from the arena. I need to do this to, I've been brainwashing him little by little. I found on Spotify the Rangers goal song. I've been playing that for him and celebrating and stuff. Like I'm getting it a little bit.
The Rangers that intro.
Theo recorded me and she's like, this is indoctrination. Yes, it is. I need to get that going. So, he's 4 months now and it's time to make sure that, his formative brain development is around the Rangers, Giants, and Mets. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But he's doing great. What happened?
I would say get that subliminal messaging going right off that bat.
Yeah, got to get that in. But he's doing great. One episode, maybe I'll bring him on so you guys could say hi to you guys, and it'll be fun. But
the problem is he's going to be sitting there watching games with you yelling at the TV and stuff. So he's going to be like, "What's going on?"
If his mom lets
why do
him.
we love this team so much?
If his mom lets him, right? I mean, watching TV at 4 months old is not really a good idea, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Me too, Mark.
Mark's got the barbecue cover. He's got the bike that he rides around Long Beach all the time. He wears Rangers gear all day. He's got the cups. He's got the cooler. You name it. So Mark
tattoo. Doesn't he have the tattoo?
He's got a tattoo for sure.
I'm curious if anyone's got the computer chair. I saw that online at some point.
I had it.
Expensive.
I've been on.
I guess we still have it. It's in Coach Ed's basement, but
yeah, if you don't want it, throw it in.
The only reason I got rid of it, it started to hurt my back a little bit. So I got like a better chair. And I also got one that like folds up that I can tuck under my desk because as you guys could see, I don't really have much room in here. So while I'm working, I need to get the computer chair out of the way. It's tough. But but we still have it. But it's not like the best it's very nice, but it's not like the best, like if you're going to be sitting for a long time.
So it's not ergonomics or any of that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. My chair is so comfortable and I have all these like pillows for my back and I got a standing desk and all that. So, I don't know. Anyway,
Mark will buy it from me and install it in his car or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's kid's unbelievable, and I'm happy to be back, and excited for as he gets bigger to share him with everybody, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But we got a big episode today. I'm excited. PJ, we got Neil coming back for our longtime listeners. Everybody knows Neil. Neil's the best. One of the more reasonable Devils fans out there, honestly, and not just a fan, but he covers the team, making moves in his career. He still does the Devil State of Mind podcast. Let's bring Neil on. Let's talk some Devils Rangers. Let's just get going into the episode.
I've been watching him laughing at us in the backstage, so might as well bring him on.
Yeah, just bring him on.
He's ready.
Just bring him on. He can promote
There
himself.
he
I ain't
What's
got
up, boys?
What's up, Neil? Ooh,
Long time no see, guys. How we doing?
the 1982 shirt.
Yeah. From when they first came to New Jersey.
Let's just be that's not like a Stanley Cup shirt, right? Because they were the Mickey Mouse
They were
Devils.
established. Yeah.
So what's going on, man? How's everything?
It's funny you guys were mentioning before. It really has been probably the longest summer that I think any of us have gone through in terms of just from a hockey standpoint. I think obviously with the lack of moves, quite frankly, from anybody, I think it's certainly made this an incredibly boring and long summer. For me, it's just been trying to set up my whole moving process. I moved out of my childhood home back a couple weeks ago. Still in the process of getting all that set up. So I'm currently near Atlantic City in my aunt's summer home for now. So I get a nice view of the beach every day. So I can't really complain about that. And I'm just excited to get this season underway. It's been a long time coming. And more importantly, I'm excited to talk to you guys because it's certainly been a minute. And I always look forward to jumping on and talking with you guys, especially talking to my best friend, Coach Ed. Which, by the way, all I can hear is crickets right now. That's all I've been hearing.
I forgot to introduce the crickets. Yeah, the crickets.
I like when you're on, Neil, because I get a lot of time to go for bathroom breaks.
The crickets are also joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Neil, so what do you got going on this year, man? I know you're doing the podcast. I saw that you're doing some broadcasting now, right?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of broadcasting. I worked for a local soccer team called FC Monmouth this past summer. We actually got into, for people who watch particularly American soccer, their fourth division. So these guys are college players, so they don't get paid. But we actually made the U.S. Open Cup qualifiers, so that's really exciting. Been doing a lot of social media. I actually broadcasted one of their games. So I've been kind of brushing up on that. I do work for the New York Jets now in their community relations department. So I actually have to go to MetLife on Sunday for their home opener against the Steelers. I was at their last preseason game because I only work home games. So I was at the last one against the Eagles. And then I'm just going to be at every Jets home game, which, funny enough, this year, literally every one of their home games is a 1:00 on a Sunday. So the schedule is kind of easy to follow in terms of daytime and when I have to be there. But, other than that, I've been just continuing to grind with my podcast. We are entering now into season 7. I literally just posted my first episode of season 7 last night or yesterday. And I'm really excited about it. I also just got my mini mics for this upcoming year. I'm going to do a bunch of mini mic interviews at games. I'm really, really excited to be doing that. It's been a long time coming. Still writing for Pucks and Pitchforks over on Fansided, covering the Devils. I put out 2 articles in the last 2 days, so I've been been grinding on that, and hopefully in about 9 months from now, I'll be going to Syracuse University at the master's level for sports media, which I'm really excited about. And I also just graduated from. I graduated my bachelor's degree from William Patterson University back in May. So that's all that's been going on up until this point.
Not so much, just that.
Wow, man.
Just that, yeah.
I feel amazed that I feel honored that you gave us some time with all that.
Yeah, congrats on all the above. That's great. That so you actually
I always make time for my boys here, for sure. I always make time.
Yes, he does. EJ was like, I don't know, he hasn't answered. Like he's got to either he's going to confirm. I was like, sorry, Neil'll be there. He's just taking a. social media right now. He'll be there. But that's cool. You said Syracuse, so you're going up to Syracuse, or are you taking classes?
Yeah. So last year, or not really last year, but like back in February, I got accepted into their master's program. And, for differing reasons, not really on me, I had to defer to the summer of 2026. So in July of next year, I'll be there for 13 months. So it's a 13-month program. And then, I'll be off and running with my master's degree from literally my dream school. And I will be there. I will be up in Syracuse, New York the whole year. So this is going to be the last season, at least in Jersey. I'm going to be doing the podcast for a bit. So I'm hoping to make it a memorable one, and hopefully it involves this team going deep into the playoffs, but we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about that because it's a huge opportunity for me, and one that I certainly don't take lightly.
That's awesome.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on all that, man. It's a lot of achievements, and you do a great job. You definitely grind it out, and congrats. But let's jump right into some hockey, if you don't mind. I want to talk Devils last season.
You want to talk about Jack Hughes first? You want to get it out the way?
I put the teaser clip out to get him started.
We can go ahead and do that. So I wasn't going to. We can. I mean, I think I'll let little Jack Hughes questions though. So I'm going to dish it over a little side backhander for a one-timer over here, a little Ed, and let him handle the Jack Hughes questions.
It's not so much a question where I feel like like I just have to say the same thing every year until I'm proven differently. Do you think he's prepared going into this season health-wise? Like, you think he's done the right things in the off season, and how do you feel about him going into the season?
It's a great question. I don't really know the answer to that in terms of do I think he will, because, as we've seen for many years now, we think that he's turning a corner, and then it's usually a freak injury. I mean, a lot of the time, if you look at some of the injuries he's suffered, they've just been unfortunate situations, bad timing, bad positioning. And that was kind of one thing I argued this offseason that definitely ruffled a lot of people's feathers, where I said that I think Jack's biggest problem is not necessarily that he's injury prone, but that he doesn't put himself in the best possible position to not get hurt. And I think that at times he's a bit too aggressive in terms of trying to make every play on his own instead of obviously looking to try to get other people involved. And sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. I would like to think that Jack has spent a lot of time obviously rehabbing. He's not in a sling anymore after his shoulder surgery, so that's good. I don't really have any information as to what his off-season, routine has been, but I imagine that he's raring and ready to go. I mean, the last time that he spoke, which was a couple weeks ago, he's basically just ready to go. He so badly wants to get back on the ice. He wants to get going with the team. And I think it was interesting because Nico Hischier was talking to NHL Network 2 days ago and talking about Jack's situation and everything, and saying that, regardless of anything, the dude is a gamer. He's a hockey player through and through. He wants to be on the ice. That is his ultimate focus. And he's as competitive as any player that this team faces, because he cares so much about wanting to be out there. So, basically, I'm going to put it blunt that it's fingers crossed, really. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. You just hope that, with every hit that he deals with this year, that you hope it's not the one that completely shatters him yet again, and we're without him for however long period of time. And until Jack can prove that he can stay consistently healthy, this question that you asked is going to be continued to be asked year to year. So
it's not really even like a chirp at this point. It's just a reality. No. I mean, and neither is this, but I can't even imagine watching every single one of my games, like cringing that my best player or our best player is going to get hurt. Right. That's really, that must be really difficult.
Well,
I mean,
I'm going to play like a devil's
I was going to cue Coach Ed up because he coaches a lot of our players. And I'm glad you said that, like not putting yourself in the position to get hit and to get injured, which maybe that's what he's about to say.
With a guy like Jack Hughes now, I mean, we would probably say the same thing. if he doesn't put himself in those positions and he starts making decisions to take himself out of those positions, people are going to start saying he's playing a little soft. He doesn't want to go to the middle.
Right.
So to defend him a little bit, he's in a tough position.
Yeah.
So, it's a fine line at that level and that speed and the way he plays and holds on to the puck to make that split-second decision a little quicker in his defense. But
And
it's all about picking your. It's all about picking your spots.
Real quick for Coach.
What happened?
It's like cousin wants to kick it to Bell'Italia on that behalf, Coach. Real quick.
You needed to do it.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bell'Italia Marble Granite Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, come and see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers.
All right, boys, bring it in.
So
that might have actually just made my day.
I wanted that.
That was so awesome.
Yeah,
how good
Neil,
is
don't
That came
forget
out
me
of
when you're
left
doing.
field. I had no idea what was happening.
What, you never saw the commercial?
That's the first time I've seen the commercial. I've never seen it before. The last time I was on here, that wasn't on here.
We might have to repost it to get it back in the algorithm on YouTube.
It's
That
so
was
good.
awesome.
Anyway,
Well
so that's my coach's situation.
Yeah.
Neil, let me ask you.
It's a fine line.
Let me ask you a legitimate question about Jack Hughes.
Sure.
So it's a two-parter. The first part is he the most overrated player in the league? And the second part is, why do you think Adam Fox has gotten so much criticism for how he performed at the Four Nations, but Jack Hughes, I haven't really heard anything about it, and he seems to be a lock for the Olympic roster, but the guy can't stay healthy, and he didn't perform well at all during the Four Nations. So I'm just curious where the Devils fans are at with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, two good questions. I think with the first one, I think there's an argument that can be made because of the fact that he has so much talent, but he's missed already so many games in his young career. And I'm sure from the, in the public media, people are tired of hearing about Jack Hughes and what he can do. And then he's missing all this time and missing all these games and getting hurt consistently. And, I think that there's an argument that can be made. And like I was saying before, until Jack can prove otherwise, these are the kind of questions and criticisms that he's going to get. And I think he knows that better than anybody because he's dealt with it basically his entire career. Now, with the Adam Fox situation, that's kind of an interesting thing because in the Devils world, everybody was critical of Jack Hughes in the Four Nations. I don't know why it wasn't talked about enough in the national media, but in terms of speaking with a lot of people in Devils world, we all felt that Jack could have been better. We felt that at times he was too passive, not aggressive enough, and he was fully healthy at that time. So I don't really know exactly what it was. Maybe he just wanted to try to, fit in alongside Austin Matthews. Perhaps that was maybe not the best strategy. Not really sure what was going on there. I would have liked to have seen Jack be more aggressive with that. And as far as Adam Fox, the funny thing about it is that I feel like Adam Fox is consistently getting disrespect even now. And it's not even just from the Four Nations performance. I think just in general, people forget how good of a defenseman he is. Because I think a lot of people are so focused on talking about guys like Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, Jacob Slavin, guys like that. And then they forget that Adam Fox, not that long ago, was considered one of the top flight defensemen in the game. And I think he's still a top 10 defenseman right now. And I think that I think that he's still very much a lock to make the national team, in my opinion, for the Olympics. I think if he can, if he obviously stays healthy and he has a strong, beginning of the year, first 2-3 months, I think he gives himself a really, really good chance. I would be very surprised.
There's a lot of good USA defensemen, though. So,
and that's a good thing to have if you're in the United States, right? You have an assortment of options. This is the deepest talent pool that the United States has had in a long time, and so there's a lot of different ways you could go about it. But I still think that Adam Fox can be that guy. I think just like the Rangers in general, last year I think he did have a down year, but I don't expect that to be what Adam Fox is now. I expect him to improve moving forward. I expect him to get back to the level that he's at because he's still a really, really talented defenseman. I think that the criticism is a bit much, in my opinion.
Do you think that Jack Hughes was intimidated by the high intensity that level? Has he played
physicality?
That kind of
I would say.
Yeah,
I think he can keep up with the speed, but I think it's a mixture.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the speed was not the issue. I think Jack can stick with anybody in terms of speed. I think the physicality and the level of intensity that whole tournament brought, I think for someone like him, and it wasn't just him, but because we're talking about Jack, I think it definitely probably caught him a bit off guard. He's played the only international competitions that Jack Hughes has played in is the World Juniors, and that's a completely different world than playing in a competition like this where you're going up against the best of the best, right? And if Jack wants to have the opportunity to play in the Olympics in Milano this upcoming season, he's going to have to be prepared for that because it's just going to get that much more physical. And the ice is going to open up because the ice rinks over there are bigger than they are here in the United States.
Now that might be.
Wait, hold on. Well, not to call him out or anything, but like, wasn't that the first time for a lot of those guys to play on that stage?
For a lot of the guys, yeah, for sure. And that's why I'm agreeing with what you guys are saying that I think it caught Jack. Just talking about Jack, yeah. I don't think he was fully prepared for that. And I think that playing on a line, being on that top line with that level of, responsibility, perhaps maybe wasn't the best place for him to be. I think also, even though the Jack does struggle as a center at times, I think being a winger was kind of a weird position for him to be in. I'm not blaming Mike Sullivan for putting him there. I'm just saying that I think there's just a lot of different factors. Hopefully it's a learning experience for him. Hopefully he can use that.
Well, I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
I want coach to go, and then I want to.
Again, at that level, he's the best. He's obviously a star in the league. Mm-hmm. Playing center or wing should not make a big difference in his game. Mm-hmm. I feel that the Olympic-sized rink will help him for sure, and I think they're going to pick that team a little differently. The intensity is not as confined, obviously. It's more of a passing and speed game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to hurt Fox, though. I mean, I hate to, again, I know PJ and Cousin Ed are going to, go against me on that, but that's going to hurt Fox. You got to be able to skate. I just remember playing on a rink that wide, and it just seemed like from your slot to the boards, when that guy went wide, was a big difference. And when you're facing guys like Nathan McKinnon going wide like that, you better make decisions. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough decision.
Massive.
Look, I love Adam Fox. I think if, like you said, I agree with also if he has a good September, October, November going into the holidays, he's got a good chance of making it, but it's going to be a tough decision for the coaches. Definitely. It's a lot.
And I'll just say this really quickly, that I think for everybody, not just players for the United States, but just overall to the NHL, it wouldn't surprise me in the first month, instead of it being kind of slow for guys to get going, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit more of an oomph from a lot of guys because of, with there being very few roster spots potentially open for these countries, that guys want to show right away that they can play at that level, that they should be on that team. I look at a guy like Tage Thompson, who was left off the USA roster for the Four Nations, and he tore it absolutely up after the Four Nations was over. He used it as motivation. And I think there's other guys like that. It wouldn't surprise me if Adam Fox uses the first 2 to 3 months and just kind of gets going right away because he wants to prove himself. There's that extra motivation to get through the long regular season that everybody goes through.
And
And
Sullivan's the
coaches,
coach, correct?
And Sullivan is the
Yeah.
coach. Yep.
So
I
he's
think-
he's gonna have a day in, day out.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be able
think
to watch
Fox
him,
looked him. I think Fox looked at himself in the mirror a lot, and then took care of business in the offseason. But like, first I want to say is like what I was thinking before is Luke Hughes a lock for Team USA because he's
No.
posing in the USA jersey on like
No,
Instagram and
no,
like
he's-
all the
he's-
social.
Yeah, no, I'll be very honest with you. There would have to be several injuries, in my opinion, for that to even be considered.
Yeah, he's
because
not ready. Like that would
he's
just be
not
crazy
ready.
in my
He's not
opinion.
e-
But
I
like,
mean-
why would they? I understand
right
why
now-
they did it, but like that's a little bit of a tease to him also.
I
You
think
know,
they
like-
honestly, if we're being honest, I think they did it just in case it happens. It's unlikely, in my opinion. The likeliest scenario is that 2 of the 3 Hughes brothers go. I mean, because Quinn's already in. We already know that. Jack, again, I feel
I guess
fairly
he's not a
confident
lock
he'll
either,
make it, but
technically.
you never know. The team
Yeah.
could be much different than what it was at the Four Nations. There's a lot of
It's
guys.
also a long ways away. I mean, not
Oh,
only Jack, but a
100%.
lot of
We don't-
players could
right.
get injured.
It's gonna. We don't
Yeah.
know. It's possible.
I mean,
that-
Luke Hughes is one of the top prospect defensemen in the league. I mean, so if he broke out to start the year, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, he has to get a new contract first, and then we can talk about him on the ice.
Right, and didn't even Wayne Hudson didn't even get
Well,
invited to that
Neil,
Right.
orientation either.
I haven't ordered to the questions I'm going to
Oh,
ask
I'm
you,
sorry.
but you love to just throw things in there.
Right.
Well, Neil
Coach.
kind of this might be in your order, but Neil kind of already queued it up. He was comparing Jack Hughes to Austin Matthews, which I have to ask about Mike Rupp's take.
Yeah. That was a stretch. I'll be very honest. That was a stretch. Because I mean that's the thing, right? Like again, we are basing it off of what we've been like when Jack Hughes
They're
is
just
on
not the
his team.
same player. Like they're just
Right.
not comparable players.
No,
at
they
all.
are
It's
2
crazy.
different players. Also, the size difference is a factor. I'm just being honest. Like
Right.
Like
100%.
Austin is a bigger player. Like he's just
Yeah.
a bigger player, and also he doesn't get as hurt as much. So he's played a lot more. He's
Actually, he
been-
kind of does, but it's not as a major injury.
but it's not as
He's
a
able to
major
play.
factor.
He's
Yeah,
able to play through it. Yeah.
correct. Yes,
But he
plays
actually
through a
is
lot of-
injured almost every season, which I think is a big problem in his game as well. He never
sure.
goes into but
Yeah.
whatever.
But I think to
Go on.
compare the two, and say that Jack Hughes long term is going to end up being a better player than Austin Matthews is a pretty big stretch because there's still a lot of hockey left, I think, in both of those guys for sure. But they're also 2 different types of players, and one of them, as you mentioned, gets injured a lot but plays through it and still is able to produce at some high level, and another one continues to get hurt and not only get hurt
Well,
but
it's
then
just-
be out the whole
Yeah,
whole
it's just
rest of the
different. It's different injuries.
Right.
I'm not saying like Jack Hughes refuses to
best
play
ability
through it
is
and
available.
Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Of course. But that's also my point. Whereas,
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Ed makes a good point where like the center doesn't really matter outside taking the face off. But I think in the defensive zone, Coach, it does because
Mhm.
you want that help down low. But
Without a doubt.
in my opinion, a much bigger body would be helpful down low, digging in the corners and stuff, which I don't think is Jack's game. He's more of like, let me beat the D and look for a breakaway.
I
You know,
will-
which
I will just say
Yeah.
really quickly that one thing that has been beneficial to Jack with Sheldon Keefe coming over is that Jack did get a lot better. He was much more defensively minded. He's used a lot more on the penalty kill, as are some of the other top forwards, because that's just what Sheldon Keefe likes to do. But I still
speed
very
on
much
the
get your
penalty
point.
kill definitely helps.
Right.
Well, that's the trend in the NHL now.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, my penalty kill would look a little different, like blocking shots and whatnot. I don't really want Jack Hughes to be blocking shots, but then you also like we have Mika and not Kreider anymore, but they're looking for the 2-on-1s and the fast breaks on the penalty kill now. Like there's a ton of shorthanded goals in today's NHL. But I think we should be comparing like Jack Hughes to a Panarin, not Jack Hughes to an Austin Matthews. That's why I'm saying like I think Jack Hughes maybe should get used to playing wing where he has less of a responsibility and doesn't have to put himself in those positions that you speak of.
I see him more as like an Elias Pettersson, like that
Right.
kind
Well,
of.
he's a
guy.
center too, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, whatever you want. Oh, you wanted to pick a winger. I got you. But
Yeah. That's what I mean by
Panarin-
that. Like
Panarin's in that
Panarin,
same category.
like yeah, I would love for Panarin not to dig in the corners also. Like we have that conversation ad nauseum, but like it's just not going to happen. That's just not. It's like that's the type of player I see Hughes as. Where Austin Matthews, he's huge. He blocks shots. He shuts down the other team's top center as well. Like it's just a different situation. Like you're not going to ask Hughes to do that. You're going to ask Hughes.
And he's putting
to
up 50.
Well,
He's putting up 50.
Yeah, he's unbelievable if he could stay healthy. But whatever. I'm glad. Like Cousin Ed said, Neil is a very logical Devils fan. So
it makes it hard. It makes it hard to like talk smack because you come on here and you just admit things. You're honest.
It's reverse psychology, boys. That's
all right. So you mentioned Luke Hughes' contract.
He goes on his show and just talks all this shit about us.
Sure, yeah.
You mentioned Luke Hughes' contract. Definitely wanted to talk to you about that. So,
yep.
What are your thoughts on? I saw the Devils had just under $7 million in cap space. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be enough to get it done to sign Hughes long term? Are they looking more short term?
Yeah.
Where are they at with that?
So, I have a bunch of information that was given to me on the Luke Hughes contract situation that I think people don't really understand.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it's not even really breaking news. I've mentioned it for the better part of now 5 days, so I've been really on a roll with trying to calm down the Devils fan base because it's certainly been house on fire kind of attitude on Twitter of late. But really where we're at right now is that it's not a situation where Luke and his agent, Pat Brisson, who also is the agent of Jack Hughes, also the agent of Quinn Hughes and several other top name players in the NHL. It's not a matter of that Luke doesn't want to stay in New Jersey or anything like that. It's a matter of trying to capitalize on the most dollar, whatever deal you're going to get. The Devils really want to do one of two things. They either want to give him a 2 to 3 year bridge deal with him having RFA rights after that deal is done and being able to go back to the drawing board later on, or they want to sign him to a long-term deal as well in there. And that's more like a 7-8 year deal. Now, with a bridge deal, you're looking at probably somewhere in the range of $5 to $6 million, which the Devils currently have. It could get boosted up more depending. Again, it all depends on exactly what type of money they're looking for. On an 8 year deal, you're going to have to push $8 million, $8+ million. And that's really the question. In terms of long deal, do the Devils want to pay him $8 million? If they do, there's a couple ways that they can go about it. Number one, Jonathan Kovacevic is currently hurt. He is not going to be ready to play when the season starts. You can put him on LTIR and add up to about $4 million in cap space, pay Luke, and then worry about the salary cap situation later in the year. You kick the can down the road. Or you have to start making a move or two, a trade more likely than not. And I think the logical guy that everybody keeps talking about is Andre Palat. I think a lot of people look at the situation with his contract and getting paid as much as he does, and clearly his skills are declining. And
he's your Barclay Goodrow.
Exactly. It's one of those things where they need to find a way. I think it's unlikely right now because I think teams are just not willing to make a whole lot of trades. I think a lot of teams with the salary cap going up are very content with dealing with some of the contracts they have because they know that it's not going to hurt them as much as it did before. If this was last year, I think we would have a completely different discussion right now. But the bottom line is simply that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I would expect either at some point in this week or next week that it's going to get done. It's just a matter of what is it going to be. And I know that people mentioned the 5 year deal that everybody was saying, oh, he's trying to get 5 years so he can line up his contract with Jack's current contract. And then they can be a package duo on free agency. That's what I was going
to say. I didn't want to spin off the rails with Quinn, but isn't like they all want to play together, right? So like that's got to be a factor. Like, does Quinn want to come to New Jersey? I mean,
I don't know if I don't want to sit here and say to people that like Quinn definitely wants to come to New Jersey because you never know what could happen, right? You don't know what could happen between now and when Quinn's contract is up in 2 years. I think the thing though that I just want to reiterate to people is that the 5 year deal that has been brought out was a suggestion, meaning that it was one of the many ideas that have been brought up. This was not something that Luke and his agent said, this is what we want. And that's what people need to relax about, because it's all of a sudden turning on both Luke and Jack, saying that they're being selfish because they don't want to sign long-term, which is ridiculous because Jack is on a long-term contract as we speak. And Luke is not in a situation where he feels that he has to do that. Like it's a matter of overreaction. And this is why we really need hockey back, because I think people are really losing their minds at this point.
Well, why would he want a long-term deal at a price that he feels when the cap shoots up in 5-6 years, he's going to be so underpaid if he reaches
Isn't that
his
what
potential?
Jack did though?
Jack locked in, but I think he signed his deal when the cap was, there was no like evidence the cap was definitely going to go up.
No,
And
it was literally right before the pandemic.
Yeah, and he got
was-
a $64 million handed to him at 20 years old.
And-
I didn't realize it was before the pandemic. I
And
thought it was
people
after.
Plus, he can hit UFA at 28, I think, Jack.
Yeah,
or
and when
20 or
Jack
29.
signed his deal, everybody looked at it as an overpayment at the time, and now everybody
He hadn't broken
looked
out
at
yet,
the
yeah.
best contract value-wise in the NHL. And the thing about it
But is
that,
it though because of everything we just talked about? He can't play a
look,
full season.
I'm not the one that's saying that. I'm talking about
I
what
got
the
you.
Athletic is putting out in their model.
I
mean,
love the Athletic.
You know, this is how they described it. And some people say that could be one of the reasons that the Luke Hughes contract situation is different, because of Pat Brisson. Does he really want to, have the distinction of having his client have the best valued contract, so to speak, in the NHL? I think the bottom line is, and to answer that question, is this. Again, I believe that Pat Brisson and Luke want to get the highest value on whatever deal they get, and I think that they are content with it being a long-term deal if they get the money that they want. Because again, yes, the salary cap will go up for sure. We already know that. But I think at the end of the day, they still want to position themselves for a chance to compete. And right now, the Devils are in a win now mode. This is where they are. This is the window that they're in. And I think that Luke wants to lock in. And I think that Jack, whether people want to fully agree to it or not, I think he does play a factor in the negotiation all the time, whether they're going to mention it out loud or not. That's what it is. Are they preparing for Quinn as well? No, I don't believe that. I believe that they're going to let that play out however they want it to play out. If he's there and the Devils get him in 2 years, fantastic. If he doesn't, keep in mind, it's not the end of the world, because look at the Devils' defense.
You're gonna have to trade for him, dude. He's not gonna. They're not gonna
yeah,
let him
no,
go.
I for sure understand that. I just want it to stop for now, and let's focus on the guys that are on the roster now, as opposed to playing junior GM on NHL 26.
They could trade Dougie Hamilton for him.
There was a lot of rumors about Dougie this offseason. I feel like
there was. And I'll be honest with you, if you trade Dougie right now, you're screwing yourself on the back end. You are
Dougie.
That is because if you're not getting impact players back right now, like if you get Quinn, great, but it's not going to happen right now. It just isn't. But if you trade Dougie now and you're trying to get value back and you don't, you're only hurting your back end, because regardless of what Dougie's been going through, and yes, he's dealt with his own injuries, he's still one of the more effective offensive defensemen in the game. He's very good on the power play, can still very much contribute to this team, even defensively. It's not 100%, but this is who Dougie Hamilton is. We have talked about Dougie Hamilton ad nauseum before. And if you move him, then guess what? You are then going to rely on Shimon Nemec into his third year and Seamus Casey into his second year as your two, potentially 1 and 2 on the right side. I don't know about you guys, but for a team trying to contend right now, I don't necessarily believe that is the right strategy. I'm not saying that those guys can't be long-term, positions at that area, but I think it would be. I don't think it's right to move.
You should be covering the Devils on NHL Network instead of Rupper, because
you're on.
I'm tired of hearing. No, I'm tired of hearing about that. Like how these guys are like top pairing defensemen and NHL ready and blah blah blah. It's like
Yep.
They're not. Like they're NHL players, but like they're not there yet. It's okay, and that's okay.
But you have to
Like,
think
and that's
about
okay.
it this way. Why do you think he said that? Because it was going to get people's reaction. You're
No,
reacting
of
to it
course,
right
but
now.
like,
He is winning by
no,
his team.
well, I'm talking about the
And
defenseman you're
believe
talking
it or
about,
it
not just
doesn't- it's up
Rupper.
to debate. That's the way
I'm just saying the way you talk about the team is more realistic, like, and you actually give quality information that Devils fans, I'm sure, love to hear.
I wanted to tie a bow real quick on Luke Hughes before we move on. So I know Cousins, we want to stick to the questions, but
I'm gonna go with whatever you guys say. I'm not.
No, it's good. We love it. With Luke Hughes, though, is he going to be ready for the season? Because I know he had his own shoulder surgery. If I'm not correct.
100%. Tom Fitzgerald spoke to RG Media a couple days ago, and as far as we understand, he's fine. Fine in the sense of like, there's no delay or anything. He's going to be good. Jack's going to be good. The only guy that really is of question right now, injury-wise, is Jonathan Kovacevic, which we knew even 3 months ago he will not be ready to start the year. We don't know how long he'll be out, but we just know that he won't be ready when the season starts.
Okay.
Neil, I was just thinking, to your point, is this the defense you want to go with and stuff like that? But, when you're building a team in a salary cap league, there's going to be holes. A lot of fans are upset with the Rangers, for example. The third line's a whole black hole of this, that, and the other. I hear PJ mentions it every week. If Mika plays wing, that third line is a problem. Unfortunately, in a salary cap league, you just can't have star prospects and players at every position. It's just not going to happen. Whether you want right D and top pairing right D to be that hole is a fair criticism, but I think that there's going to be holes. If you're spending money on Timo Meier, you're not going to be able to also spend money on this guy or that. So
right.
But let's talk about the Devils' season last year, because I look at the Devils, everyone lauds their rebuild, and the Rangers' rebuild gets compared to the Devils' rebuild a lot. And, frankly, I'm pretty harsh on the Rangers' rebuild. If listeners of the show know that, I think the Rangers botched it completely. But I look at the Devils, and I don't really think they nailed it either. I mean, you look at where they are, and they have a smallish forward group that's injury prone. They beat the Rangers in 7 games, made the second round. They took a huge step back. Goaltending destroyed. Then they get the goaltending and lose in the first round. So kind of a different arc than the Rangers have gone through.
Sure.
But where are you with the Devils rebuild and kind of looking at these 3 years holistically?
Yeah.
Where are they this year? Are they taking another step back? Are you expecting them to go forward?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question. I think going with the rebuild, first and foremost, with Tom Fitzgerald, he only gets partial credit for where the team is now because the late Ray Shero, his fingerprints of this team are all over the place. He drafted Jack Hughes, he drafted Nico Hischier, he drafted Jesper Bratt. He brought in a bunch of the main guys that we have now, and Tom Fitzgerald has been able to make a couple other moves to get some more talent in. But you bring up a very good point. I think that when the Devils started this rebuild, they wanted to start from the back, right? And they started by rebuilding the defense. And once they figured that out, then they wanted to supplement the goal scoring, right? But then they left a very gaping hole in net. And then I believe that Tom Fitzgerald last offseason overcompensated. I think that, and you guys remember this vividly, I think that one game at the end of the season prior where literally 4 or 5 different Devils got their what's handed to them by the Rangers in that massive line brawl towards the end of the year. I think whether people want to admit it or not, I think it definitely ruffled a lot of feathers with Tom Fitzgerald and felt that he needed to get slower, to get bigger, to get more physical. And you look at some of the guys that he brought in. He brought back Stefan Nason. He brought in Brendan Dillon. He brought in Brett Pesce. But the problem is that you completely hurt what the Devils' identity was that made them so good the year before that when they made it to the second round of the playoffs. Instead of building upon that and adding to what they needed, they took a step back in that and they became slower. And you look at this past year and the first 3 months were great, but the thing is that the depth scoring was not there, but you wouldn't notice it because of how much the top guys were stepping up in the first couple of months. And once they started getting the problems at the beginning of January, it was very obvious that the Devils had overcompensated and didn't add enough offensively. And they were struggling before they got hurt. It wasn't just injuries again that riddled this team. They couldn't score. They were struggling to score. And they were having a tough time getting going in many, many different games. It was very, very frustrating. So I believe that the Devils definitely took a step back 2 years ago. I think they got a tiny bit better last year. My expectation for this team is going to be that I expect them to get beyond the first round of the playoffs. If they're really going to take that next step, if they are going to quiet a lot of the naysayers, that's what they have to do. Do I feel ultra confident in this team right now that they can do that? No. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen until the games actually get going. I feel confident in the goaltending with Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen, despite their age. I think that they both proved last year that they are a really, really good tandem. I think the defense is better than some people give them credit. And as long as, again, going to just say it, as long as they stay healthy, it's going to be okay. And then with the forward group, I think the forward group has more pressure than anybody on that roster. And you added some guys like Evgeny Dadonov, Connor Brown. You added some depth, but there still needs to be more. And I would like to think that probably they're going to end up making more moves, maybe closer to the deadline. Who knows? They tried to get Jared McCann this offseason from Seattle, and Seattle didn't want to trade Jared McCann at all. It's very obvious that I don't believe the Devils feel that they are fully content with what they have, but I think this is the best that they're going to get right now in this offseason. And
do you think Fitzgerald's a little too conservative as a GM?
Too conservative is putting it lightly. I think he's very conservative, quite frankly.
I mean, you got all these young, highly talented prospects. Coach always says the Rangers can't play all these guys, right? But Devils have the even bigger problem than the Rangers with that. They're 17 Nemec, they like. I just in my mind, I'm thinking like consolidate some of these guys, go strike while Jack Hughes is in his prime, while Heishier's in his prime. Go for it. But
do they have Neil? Do they have? I don't watch them close enough. Do they have what it takes in the playoffs on their third, fourth line players? Do they have that grit? Do they have those guys? That's my argument. That's my argument with the Rangers too. Everybody could start the season off good through December, through Christmas. Then when it starts coming playoff push, knuckle down.
They had a Connor Brown coach from Edmonton. That's going to help.
Okay. Do they have that to get past the first, second round?
I think they have enough grit. I don't think they have enough scoring. I think they still lack depth scoring.
You don't think with Heischier and Jack Hughes and
because again,
Bratt, and Timo Meyer, how many scorers do you need?
Well, here's the way
they got 4 guys that should be putting 30 goals up. How many scorers do you need?
Correct. And here's the thing.
And you got Dougie that you said.
He said depth scoring, coach. Depth scoring. He said depth scoring, coach.
All right. Well,
but he brings up a good point. Why?
Not a poor reporter. Can you read it back?
It's more of a thing like this. It's more of the fact that there are going to be times throughout a season when your top guys are not producing at the same level that they normally can.
I understand that. I'm fully aware of that.
Especially in the playoffs, Neil.
Yeah, no, especially in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, and that's where I was going. But I agree. I'm saying that the depth scoring for the Devils in the bottom 6 is not there in the playoffs. That's the problem. If you look at last year as a prime example of this, right? They play the Hurricanes, and the only guys that ended up scoring were their top guys. There was nobody on the bottom 6 that anyone felt confident could do anything. They were getting smothered by the Hurricanes defense. They were not doing anything. They were not providing the extra oomph that this team needed. And that's really where I look at it with. Is I think from a physical standpoint, the Devils, especially in the bottom 6, can certainly deal with a lot in the playoffs. But I think
they're just not putting the puck in the net.
Exactly. That's the problem. And as we all know, that's the object of the game, right? Like that's
I also feel like Carolina is their kryptonite. It's kind of funny because the Rangers are Carolina's kryptonite, and it's probably the reverse for the Devils.
It is exactly the reverse at this point. And I think that until the Devils can prove that they can not only hang with Carolina but beat them, that's always going to be the knock on them, because everybody, if you look at a lot of the projections this year for the standings in the Metropolitan Division, the one thing that's been consistent is that they will have the Hurricanes above the Devils. And look, I mean, the Devils even start this season, the regular season, first game in Carolina. They literally start where their season ended the season before. And I don't want to say that the Devils' focus needs to be on, we need to be at the same level as Carolina, we need to beat them. You have to think much higher than that, but certainly that's going to be one of those teams that you're going to have extra, especially if you play them in the playoffs. Because I think in order for the Devils to even take another step forward, they have to play them and they have to beat them. That's just the truth.
If you think that way, you'll never beat them. That's the problem. You have to just go out and believe in yourself and just let the chips fall, dude. You know?
Right. And I think that the Devils, the first time around when they played them, I think that they were thoroughly, I don't want to use this, it's going to sound like an excuse, but I think they were so thoroughly exhausted from that Ranger series that I think they just had nothing when they played Carolina and they got smoked. And then this year, even with the injuries, they got smoked. They didn't have any confidence.
Neil, that doesn't sound like an excuse. That's an all-out excuse.
Let's talk goaltending for a minute.
Took me. That's what I was going.
Yeah, PJ, go for it, man. You're the goalie here.
I was gonna say I'm the goal. You mentioned it a little bit ago, and I'm the goalie guy here on this podcast. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Markstrom. I know he is on the last year of his contract, going to be UFA after this year. He's getting older. Had a really good start to the regular season. I feel like he got hurt a little bit or dipped a little bit, and then had a really good playoff despite losing. Do you still feel confident? Because it feels like his career is kind of roller coaster. Like he has an amazing year, then a down year, then up and down. Where do you kind of see? Do you see them re-signing him? Is it kind of based on what's happened this year?
Yeah, a lot of good questions with that. I actually just put out an article yesterday talking about this exact thing with Jacob Markstrom on Pucks and Pitchforks. And really where I think the Devils are with Jacob Markstrom is that they want to have him beyond this year. I think that the goal is for obviously Markstrom to stick around until he decides that he's going to retire. You bring up a good point with Markstrom. He does have his, kind of roller coaster kind of thing where when he's really on, as we saw in the playoffs, I mean, it's very impressive to see. He makes a lot of saves that a lot of other guys can't make. But when he's a bit too aggressive and he's all over the place, then you have bad games. And yeah, I mean, he was playing at a really high level until he got hurt and was out for a month. And I think he really struggled the rest of the way to kind of get back to that level. And it wasn't until the playoffs where he found his game again. But obviously I don't blame him for why this team did not go further than it should have. I think they went about as far as they could with where they were at. But for Markstrom, I mean, look, if they're going to re-sign him, it's going to be for at the most 2 years. I project it's going to be 2 years at 5.5 per year. The thing about it is that the Devils have some young guys that could very well in the next year or two take that step. You have a guy like Nico Dawes, who's been up and down in the NHL for several years now, still very young, has the potential to be a very solid goaltender. You have a gem to a lot of people in Mikhail Yegorov going into his second year at Boston University, a guy who really, really played well in his first year of college, but we'll see what he can do in year two. And once he gets to playing pro hockey, you have Jakub Malik, who's going to be down with the Utica Comets to start the year. There are options. There are a lot of different options, but I think right now with where the Devils are, I think the goal is to re-sign Markstrom. And I think the only reason it hasn't been discussed up until this point is, again, with what's going on with Luke Hughes. I think they want to get that established before they think about anything else in terms of contract wise, not just this year, but obviously moving forward. But I would like to see them keep him around because I think he's been as advertised and he's really helped lock down the goaltending position. But as we've seen before with guys getting older, at some point their skills start to decline. All the Devils can do is hope that that's not this year. So it's always a risk, but these are risks that you have to take in order to try to become a team that's good enough to compete for a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, he's annoying. I feel like against the Rangers, he always plays well, not just with the Devils this year, but in the past. Just Rangers and big goalies. It was that damn Akira Schmid too. He made no sense. I'm still mad at that series. Like he sucked against everybody else except for the Rangers.
He was pretty bad against.
He wasn't
everybody
even
else.
good against the Rangers, PJ. They just didn't have any scoring.
The Rangers,
chances.
the Rangers were just terrible. But I feel
That's
like
all-
he just
if they had scoring chances, they would have scored. The
that's
Devils
scary
played
still.
keep away with the
If
puck.
they had
you
higher
know?
quality chances, they would have probably found the back of the net.
Yeah, you guys played keep away.
I don't think it was that Akira Schmidt like completely turned around everything. I think that I mean I think the real turnaround was the overtime goal by Dougie Hamilton. That was the real turnaround.
I mean, I kind of remember you, Neil, saying how good Akira Schmidt was at the time and how he was a good future goalie. But
Look,
he,
I mean,
he had that
showed a
calm
lot of
style.
he showed a lot of flashes, but it just for him.
Coach has a really selective memory. I'm noticing there's certain
I
things that
remember
you
him
can't
pushing
remember.
it.
He
to
has
do.
a selective memory with me. That's what it is. He
It's
has,
me too. Don't worry. He remembers something I said 4 years ago, but if I ask him to
Blue Line
I don't
Blue
remember
Shirts
what
does
we
bring up-
yesterday.
pick something up, he'll forget.
So
Hilarious.
we'll see. It's a matter of just it's a matter of not again. It's a matter of if not when. It's for Jacob Markstrom. But Markstrom made it clear he doesn't want to go anywhere. He believes in this organization. He believes in the team, and he wants to be here. And that obviously makes it a lot easier. But we'll see. Things can change at any moment. And again, I'm still. It's like waiting for Luke Hughes, and then I can think about other things.
Right. All right, so let's talk Devils this season, where they're going to finish. I know you're a fan. You're also objective, so there might be two answers to the question, and that's fine. I think we should go around the board, honestly, with this, but we'll start with you, Neil. Where are the Devils going to end up at the end of the year? You said that you want them to get past the first round. You think they will? How far do you think they go overall? Playoffs, no playoffs, however you want to answer the question, and try to put your own wants aside when you answer.
Yeah, I think that the Devils are going to end up finishing top 3 in the Metro. I don't think that that's really the concern, but I think that until they prove me otherwise, I have a tough time seeing them getting out of the first round. That's why I said that the goal is to get out of the first round, because I have hope, as everybody would. But the confidence level is not where it needs to be, at least from the outsider perspective, right? So my prediction is that this team's going to find a way to make the playoffs again, but I don't, unless they get a favorable matchup in the first round, which I don't know who they would play. I mean, it's so far away at this point. It's really hard for me to see them get beyond the first round, but again, there's other moves that need to be made. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of they're going to get it done because they have to. We just have to see where this team ends up. But I think that they are definitely a playoff team. Are they a team that could go deep? I think some things definitely have to bounce their way a little bit. But right now, I would probably say they're a first-round exit. Maybe not in 5 games, but I think right now, realistically, I think they're a first-round exit.
Wow.
I think the two big question marks, you said Luke Hughes had shoulder surgery as well.
Mm-hmm. He did.
That's two big question marks if him and Jack can't finish the season.
That's, again, all these things are factors, right?
Two
These
big
are things
question marks. I don't know. I know my
They're big
shoulders hurt. I know my shoulders are killing me, and I'm not playing with guys 250 pounds trying to hit me. They're one hit away. That's a hard injury to recover from.
And the thing that sucks for Jack is that this is not even the first time that he's dealt with this, right? It's the second time on the same shoulder. So it's like, so you have to, in many ways, what sucks is that you have to go into these things with caution, right? Not necessarily with guys like Nico Hischier or Jesper Bratt or even Timo Meyer, but you look at a guy like Jack, who's the machine of this team. You look at a guy like Luke, who's an up-and-coming, top flight defenseman. And both of them are coming off shoulder injuries. And the question is,
Does Jack kill penalties?
Jack does kill penalties.
Yeah, that's what he was saying before with the speed.
Yeah,
but like,
well, you
because
said that. I mean, to me, as an organization, I think they should I said that about Adam Fox for a couple of years. They should lighten the burden a little bit. It's a lot on these guys, especially if you go deep in the playoffs.
I think the thing that's always difficult is, again, it kind of goes back to where Jack Hughes is such a gamer. He wants to be.
I understand that, but sometimes as a player, and the communication has to open up.
Well,
That
you have
for
to
his
pull
own
back the
good,
reins
for his
somewhat.
own good,
Yeah.
and for his career. That's one less little bump you hit on that shoulder. It's like a broken stick. Sometimes
Right.
it gets nicked a little bit and it breaks later. So you get
Sure.
those couple of little hits, and then you get the
Yeah.
bad one. Though that could mean a lot over 80 games or however
100%.
many games he plays. This
Well,
And that's
Coach,
part
if
about
you'll-
that's part about picking your spots. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
comparing it to another sport, it drives me crazy. Like the other night, the Mets were up like 12-2, and the center fielder's like diving for a catch. It's like, just let that one drop. Like, you don't trying to get into the playoffs. Like he doesn't have to play the penalty kill like game one of the regular season. Maybe towards the end of the season, if they need a few points or a shorthanded goal, fine.
Yeah,
But,
situational.
like you got to pick your spots.
Yeah, no, I mean, Coach, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he's not,
Well,
on the
I get it, but
Yeah.
if you're the GM and you go in a press conference and you just say, "This is what we're doing. We need to have we have 12 forwards. We need to get them all in the game involved, and it's better for the longevity of the team." I mean, if anybody doesn't realize that, then they don't really know what they're watching.
Who's the guy that fought Rempe? The
McDermott.
Yeah, is he going to be a consistent guy in the lineup? Because
No.
I feel like.
When
No.
Rempe plays only.
Well, then who does?
It's
I guess
very.
my
it's
question
way
is,
more
who's the
likely
guy
that
that's going to
he's
protect
go
Jack?
down. I'm sorry.
Who's the guy that's going to protect Jack? Where like the players on the other team are like, you know what? If I hit Jack, I'm going to have to answer right now.
The guys that I think would be the most likely candidates for that are guys like Stephen Nason and Brendan Dillon, because that's what they were doing last year, and they just do that with everybody. They're both guys that
Does
really
that move? Does that move the needle for you? Because honestly, I don't even know who those guys are.
It certainly moves the needle for me. I mean, again, Stephen Nason was a pain in the ass to play against when he was in Carolina, and he played in New Jersey earlier in his career. He was on the team that made the playoffs in the year that Taylor Hall won the Hart Trophy. Like, he's been here before. He's a physical player, but a guy that can score 20-plus goals. And then Brendan Dillon. I mean, Brendan Dillon is a decent defenseman, but again, another guy that literally will go after anybody that messes with anyone on the team. It doesn't even have to be Jack. It could be Evgeny Dadonov, and Brendan Dillon will go and try to, fight the guy. I don't think there's that much worry, but I think the big thing to keep in mind, and we've talked about it before, is Jack, more than anybody, has to understand how much of a target is constantly on his back.
Right.
Just not even from the standpoint of somebody wanting to go and run at him and hit him. I think it's just the perception, right? The perception of the Devils is what? If Jack Hughes goes down, then this whole Devils team falls apart. And while that didn't completely happen last year, Nico Hischier and Timo Meier and Bratt, those guys stepped up and were able to help this team make the playoffs. The bottom line is though, emotionally, just not having the talent that he is in the lineup every night is a factor. And the reality is that, and this is very tough for a lot of Devils fans to accept, but the way that Tom Fitzgerald, for the most part, has built this team, he's built it around someone that struggles to stay healthy. And that really hurts them in many different ways.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. And to Cousin Ed's point, where he's got to go into the season almost with a plan B, or he's got to move on from some of these young guys to I mean, I know Ryan Reeves is way past his time, but that's the point I was trying to get at. You got to trade for a player like that, where sure, the guys that you just named, I'm sure they're tough hockey players. They're going to fight. They're going to go after, but guys in the other team aren't saying it's not worth it. You know what I mean? You need someone. If Jack Hughes is going to stay the way he is, he's going to be injury prone. He's not going to change his style of play, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You need to trade. I know they're somewhat unicorns, but we talk about it on our show all the time. You got to push the chips into the table and get one of those guys.
And that's
to protect Jack Hughes and take some of the pressure. Go ahead.
And that's the worry that we have with Tom Fitzgerald, because you had asked me before. There are many times where he's not aggressive enough in terms of taking this team to the next level that they need to be at. And that's really where the frustration sets in for a lot of us, is that we know that this team can be better. We know that this team should be better with the core that we have and the rebuild that we've had. And it's up to him to have that plan B and plan C and be prepared for whatever could happen. And I think he's had enough experience with this team by now that he should know that and should be prepared for it. I don't know what I would love to tell you that I know exactly what the plan is moving forward. I don't. I think a lot of it's going to depend on when the season gets underway. I think that's really what it comes down to.
I mean, we lucked out with a guy like Rempe where it's a young kid and he just kind of fell into their lap a little bit, but you need someone where the players in the other team aren't going to just like go after what? What'd you say?
He's not a superstar, but he adds a different dynamic to that team.
I know. I'm not saying like guys are shaking because Rempe's on the other bench, but like at least they know like there's a guy over there that's pretty big and he's gonna fight. Like they can deploy him whenever they want type situation.
Always was aware when Matt Rempe was on the ice,
and he could play. He could play. He could skate. He's got decent hands. I like Remps.
I'll still never forget like when they posted that video
of these bad boys.
I'll take one of them. I'm totally good. That's really that's great. Sure.
No, you complimented us out when we released the logo of the Rempe Rides at Dawn.
It's very cool. No, it's very cool.
Definitely you shot me a message almost right away.
What's that popular Devils account? The guy he's like always talking smack about the Rangers.
I don't want to give him a plug, but it's like Jesper. It's like Jesper Blot or something. It's like
Jesper Bratt guy. Yeah, he posted that shirt.
You're talking.
Yeah, he posted that shirt making fun of us, but didn't put our name of our podcast.
I love the Brett. Like I've met Brad Pack several times. Good dude. I think a lot of the time he does, go over the top.
Do me a favor when you meet him again, if you see him or if you know him and text him, let him know that our podcast made that shirt. Just in case he doesn't know, I'd like him to know that. Like I just
okay. No, right. I will let him. I will. I could DM him right now, and I'd let him.
No, not right now.
But no, I think with the Devils, it's I'd love to sit here and tell you guys that I am ultra confident, but I'm not. I'm just being realistic. It's not even try. I know people say like, oh, negative this thing. It's not even being negative. It's that there's evidence all over the place, right? There's evidence, and I'm not going to sit here and try to defend something that's not defendable. Like that's the way that I look at it. It's just a matter of like, this team has a lot to prove. This team should be motivated to prove a lot of people wrong. And I've been seeing a lot of comments that have been made by guys like Nico Hischier and Connor Brown about the potential of this team, the hunger that they have. I get it, but talk is cheap. You got to go on the ice. You got to stay on the ice, and you got to prove it.
Well, I think that's part of the issue why other teams do go after Hughes. I think they play with some kind of an arrogance that they've won it all too many times, and they haven't. That's my opinion. Hughes has that arrogance about him where whether he has it or not, he looks like he has it, that overconfidence. And I think guys are gonna go after him. Eventually, Marchand's gonna say, we got to get this guy in the corner, and it's gonna happen.
Well, that's gonna be
those old school type of players are gonna do it. And those old school type of coaches are going to say, we got to put the body on this guy. And it's,
Coach,
he's showing off too much. He's showing off too much. Right. He's holding on to the puck too much.
Right. You of all people, you know what it's like. All these guys, every pregame when they're game planning, when they play the Devils, is going to be like, look, 86.
Of
you
course.
Stop him, you're going to stop this whole team. Quite frankly, put him against the boards, do this, that, and the other thing. I think I've said this before that one of the things that Jack needs to do is needs to take advice from Jesper Bratt, because Jesper Bratt, who is also a small player in his own right, the one thing that Jesper Bratt has done much better at in the last 2 or 3 years is he knows how to get out of those situations or brace himself for those hits.
But he missed time too, right?
End up getting hurt. Sorry,
wasn't he out for like 10 games last year? Didn't he miss time?
Like 2. He was out for like 2 or 3. It wasn't. He misses like 1 or 2 games because like he's sick. Like he doesn't miss like a lot of games. But like if you watch enough of him, he'll be along the boards and he's kind of in a position where he could get set up to get destroyed, and he's able to wiggle his way out of it because he has that positioning. I've spoken to his conditioning coach, and we've talked about it ad nauseum about it's not always about getting bigger. It's about getting smarter and understanding that you're a target, understanding that guys are going to try to come knock you out. And that's what it is. And so for Jesper Bratt, he does a great job of getting out of that. Jack Hughes, for as talented as he is, doesn't. Not yet. You hope it's this year.
Again, I think it's that arrogance, like you're not taking the puck from me. And he's holding on to it little bit too long.
Coach, I had a coach tell me once the difference between arrogance and confidence is an ass kicking. So,
and the question
that's another quotable plaque.
It's going to go off that. How many ass kickings does Jack Hughes need before he's like, oh, you know what? I need to change.
Because it's a fine line, right? You want Jack Hughes to be a confident player.
It definitely is a fine line.
That's what I was going to ask too. Do you worry that he almost, after a couple shoulder injuries, does he maybe, is he going to think too much out there or like get worried about getting hit? Like, even if it's psychosomatic, it's, you never know.
I don't,
there's,
wait a minute. He could
you need confidence in yourself. But what? What'd you say?
Who knows?
I did a movie quote.
I'll listen back tomorrow. You need confidence in yourself, but you also need confidence in your teammates. Like Coach Ed, we say it all the time to our players, give the puck up and get open again. And your teammate should, or if he has the right mind, give it back to you for a quick give and go. It's got to be like that. Mm-hmm. And I just looked it up quick. Jesper Bratt missed one game last season, played 82 the 2 games or the 2 seasons prior to that. And they're both listed at like pretty much the same exact height and weight at 5'10", 5'11", 175.
So then you could ask the question then, well, there's a good comparable player. Why has Jesper Bratt been able to stay on the ice and Jack isn't? To me, it's very simple. It's that Bratt is much more aware of where he is and understands the position that he has to be in if he's going to get hit or if he can avoid a hit. Where Jack is, it's like he wants to try to just push his way through it instead of being smarter and just at times deciding like, no, I'm not just going to like let someone just run me over and then just try to get back up.
It's also no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say to answer PJ's point to what he was bringing up before. I think that I don't think Jack has ever lost his confidence, no matter the injuries or anything like that. But I do think that there is a bit of arrogance as well. I think Coach Ed brings up a very good point. I think it's a bit more arrogance than confidence that it is with Jack, because I think there's at times where he thinks that, I think Jack at times believes that he can do it all. I'm not saying he doesn't trust his teammates, but I think it's way more of a thing of like, he believes that he is so good that he can just get through these things without having to look for other guys. The amount of blind passes that he'll make, seriously, if you watch enough, you'll see it. He'll make blind passes for no reason because he thinks that it'll just automatically get there. Yeah. But it's like, you're not being smart enough with it. You're not recognizing that this is where it needs to be. And this is the kind of thing that needs to be coached more and needs to be pushed down into his head a lot more, that like, look, you have other talent on this team. Look at the amount of talent you have around you. Utilize it. You have the ability to make unreal passes to set up guys. It's crazy.
That's kind of what you were just saying. Yeah, what you were just saying is like what I was about to say is like I'm looking at now both of their profiles, and this isn't a knock on USA, obviously. Go Team USA, right? But Jesper Bratt is Swedish. They teach, I think, growing up a much more team game, right? I mean, you look at a lot of the other Swedes around the league and in the NHL history, like they're brought up a much different way. And Jesper Bratt was also probably playing professionally in Sweden, right? Before he came over here. I'm not really sure. But either way,
like the second league,
those guys are exposed to playing with like men a lot sooner than like Jack Hughes. And then my third point is, look at Jack. Well, he went over to Switzerland, right, to do the same thing. I think
and played.
Yeah, whatever. Either way, yeah. So I think that's a great path as well. And then also my last point is the brotherly competition. Growing up with Quinn and Luke, you're always trying to be the best brother, right? He probably feels like, there's competition there. I gotta prove something, right? So I think that all factors into like his psychology and trying to do too much.
And I will say one last thing that, like, I don't think it's never a factor of like Jack is a pretty boy hockey player or that he doesn't want to win. I think he very much does. I think it shows a lot of the time with his frustration when he's on the bench and how much he wants to win. But that's the thing, right? It's like he wants to win so badly that he tries to do it all on his own. And not even because he doesn't feel that his teammates are not capable of helping him. It's that he has this in his mind that like he has to do it all. And he doesn't. He can still be a very good player and also find his teammates, and that's where it all comes from.
Wait, are we still talking about
Brad's also 2 or 3 years older, which is a big deal.
We're back at the beginning of the episode. But Neil, I want to totally change gears here before we kind of maybe make our way towards more Ranger centric on your opinion. I want to talk Timo Meier real quick. I'm curious what your thoughts are, because I remember when he was getting traded to the Devils, he was like a 35, 40 goal guy.
Yeah.
Everyone was hyped about getting him. I feel like he just hasn't lived up to that yet. I know he had a pretty good year last year, but he still hasn't put up 30 goals with the Devils. It just kind of feels like, do you feel is it fair to say he's been a little bit of a disappointment?
For sure. I watched a bunch of him in San Jose. And this is not the same player, but does he still have the ability to score 30 plus goals? Yeah, I think what it is, though, is that Timo Meier, when he was in San Jose, was around a lot of guys that were feeding him the puck. You think about guys like Joe Pavelski, who just got put in the USA Hockey Hall of Fame today. You have Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Logan Couture. You have, Jonas Donskoy. You have a bunch I could go on and on. But the thing about it in New Jersey is that he is just one of several guys that can consistently put the puck in the back of the net. He has had some bad luck, not complete like bad luck, but he's had some bad luck. But I think that he needs to be more aggressive. I think there's times where he's a bit more like, I want to, try to get everyone involved. And it's like, if you have a lane to shoot, I don't care where you are, fire it. That's been my whole thing. Watching hockey is you got a lane. Even if it doesn't feel 100% great, just shoot it because you don't know what can happen.
Those lanes don't happen very often.
Exactly, right? What some people might think this is wide open in the NHL, this is wide open in many cases. Like that's really where it could come down to. So I think
100%.
for Timo Meier, I don't think he lacks confidence, but I think also he does have a physical brand to his game. He is willing to throw his body around. He's done it many times. And I think it's more of just that if he can just be told like, look, dude, just fire it. Don't worry about, constantly looking for something. Just shoot it.
Would you trade him for Zetterlund right now, 1-for-1?
Fabian Zetterlund? Would I trade him back now? No. Personally, no.
What was the rumor before
like
Zetterlund? It was Mercer, right? They traded Zetterlund instead of Mercer, I think.
They traded Zetterlund instead of Alexander Holtz. That was
instead of Holtz,
right? The Devils. I don't know if the Devils wanted to move Holtz over Zetterlund or if it was just that the Sharks wanted Zetterlund over Holtz. I don't remember what exactly the reason was, but I mean, at the time when the trade was made, I don't think anybody said like, "Oh, this is really going to backfire on the Devils." And
no, of course.
And you got to give Zetterlund credit, but the funny thing about Zetterlund, Ed, is that he's not even with the Sharks anymore. They traded him for nothing. No, he got traded to Ottawa.
Yeah.
So, is it working out? I mean, I guess in the long run, you say it was worked out more for the Devils because Timo's still there in New Jersey, whereas Zetterlund is gone. But I wouldn't redo that trade personally. I would still do that trade because I still have faith in Timo Meier. If he just treats every month like it's March, this guy can score 45 goals.
I know you said the turning point of that Rangers-Devils series was the Dougie OT winner, but I go back earlier in that game when it was 1-0 Rangers. They're up 2-0 in the series. They're humming, and Timo Meier does that cheap shot on Igor, and Igor punches him with the blocker, takes the penalty. Hughes scores on the power play, ties it, and they feel like the series changed after that. But I hate that was a cheap shot play, and I'm pissed. I don't know how we didn't get a penalty on that.
Yeah, Jacob Trouba was able to do something about it later in the series, though.
Too late.
Well,
Too late, yes, but still.
all right, Neil. Let's talk some Rangers. Your favorite part of coming on here.
I love it.
Look, the Rangers win the President's Trophy. Bounce back after the tough year, making the moves for Tarasenko and Kane. They lose to the Devils. Round one, they come back, win the President's Trophy. They look like they got a chance at the Cup, and they fall short to Florida like everybody else. And then they come back. I don't know if they were too complacent, if there was just turmoil with Drury and the moves that he was trying to make last summer. But the Rangers collectively, I think, all had down seasons. Every single player that is elite had a down year. It's almost like they dropped from elite ranking to good. Right. Versus so that collective drop off really hurt. And they had some injuries, but the same, I was looking at this, the same thing happened, and PJ's going to kill me, but the same thing happened in 94, right? The Rangers won the President's Trophy in 91, 92. They missed the playoffs in 92, 93 with some down seasons, brought in new players, changed up the lineup, and then next year, 93, 94, they win the Cup. So you never know. You just never know.
The Devils and Rangers meet up in the conference
you
finals.
just never know,
I'll sign up for the same thing.
So I'm not going to ask you if the Rangers are going to win the Cup after they miss the playoffs, but where are you at with the Rangers? Are they even going to make the playoffs this year? Are they going to get a boost from Sullivan? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, like what happened with Chris Drury and Jacob Troup at the beginning of the year and everything, I think would really affected the team. And I think that I don't think that anybody really could get the energy back from that point. And I remember the game against the Rangers when the Devils played them right before Christmas. I think it was the day before Christmas Eve, if I remember correctly. And the Devils absolutely beat the brakes off of them. And I was sitting there going, this is not what I expected. I mean, I expect the Devils to win, sure, but they were winning so easily. It looked like the Rangers just died. It looked like they just gave up before the game started.
We were at that game.
They quit.
Yep.
It looked like they really did
We
quit.
almost left in the second period.
Is that the one where the Devils made that post on social media that everyone
It was
the
where they
Capo
brought up,
post?
Yeah, they brought up on the screen of like Ranger fans reacting to Jack Hughes going number one, and then they flashed to Jack and he's smiling and laughing. Like, I get it. It's just, it's poking. It's poking fun. I know how it goes, but it was really more just like, I came away from that game being like, the Rangers just look broken. Like there's no energy on the bench. I mean, granted, the next time they played them, I think they ended up beating them in overtime. I believe that was the
Sam Carrick.
Sam Carrick. I couldn't would score a goal, but there you go. But then the Devils beat him again pretty decisively. Yeah, there you go. I saw that before. But I remember that then the Devils blew him out again late in the year, which I think that was also the game that officially knocked the Rangers out of the playoffs or put them pretty close. But nonetheless, I think with the Rangers, I don't think this is a sign of like the beginning of the end kind of thing. I think it's just like you said, everybody sucked. Like everybody at the same time. Terrible. That just doesn't happen on a consistent basis. Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 guys have a down year or whatever, but like not the entire team, just completely everybody stinks. And I think that, when Peter Laviolette, I think at one point said like, oh, I don't know what to tell these guys in the locker room. I was like, well, he's fired. Like, I think at that point he basically was like, please fire me, because like it's like, what can you do? So you go into this year, and I think, first of all, I like some of the additions that they made. I like the Gavrikov. I like bringing him in to replace, essentially, in my opinion, to replace Keandre Miller. Moving on with Keandre Miller, I can tell that Rangers fans are thrilled about that. I think I saw that Instagram video you guys shared, or just absolutely just driving him out of here.
Drive, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
drive.
That was
I
great.
think that the Rangers are. I think the Rangers are going to end up making the playoffs this year. I think that they're still a very good team. Moving on from Chris Kreider, I think I'm more surprised about just like how easy it seemed like it was to do that with Pat Verbeek over there in Anaheim, which everybody in the NHL, at least I've spoken to, is like, I don't know what the plan is for Pat Verbeek in Anaheim with the moves that he's made. It's very confusing and very like, I don't really get it kind of move. But you move on from Kreider. Now you have, some of those older guys are gone.
Well, he took $14.5 million in Trouba and Kreider just from the Rangers, and then also signed Ryan Strome for like $5 million a year. So I don't know.
Signed Michael Granlund too.
I don't
Traded
know.
Trevor Zegras. I got nothing for you. I don't really know. They traded John Gibson. This just finally after like 5 years at this point. But I think adding Mike Sullivan is a good move for the Rangers because I think that that's what they needed. I think that Mike Sullivan is a guy that obviously we've seen him win several cups in Pittsburgh. He's a very demanding coach, and he wanted this job. I think he wanted this job for a while. I think now that he got the opportunity, I think there's more energy. I think the Rangers had a very solid offseason, and I think that they are definitely my favorites out of the teams that missed the playoffs. They are definitely my favorites to get back into it. They would have to have some serious problems happen like last year for them to miss the playoffs, in my opinion, this year. The one thing I will say is, though, you have teams that are starting to get on the up and up, like Columbus last year certainly showed a lot. Perhaps they take another step this year. The Flyers look like they got a little bit better. Not really sure about the goaltending still, but that's been going on for like 20 years now. So I'm not really sure when that's going to get fixed, like long term. But I think overall, if you're the Rangers, you have to feel optimistic because the only place you could go is up, right? After last season, all you can do is go up. That's the way I
hope.
That's the way I
God
look at
willing,
it.
Neil.
Right, and that's the way I look at it from the Devil's side, right? God willing, you can improve on what you did last year.
If they go low, I don't know if this podcast is surviving another season.
Be ugly.
So
it had to roll.
But one of the main issues I see in particular is the lack of leadership or whatever, someone stepping up, or like you said, the locker room is obviously broken. Yeah, thank you, PJ. That's what I was gonna do. We got a question from the chat. Allie, that New York Ranger girl, wants your thoughts on the Rangers captain situation or lack thereof.
She's been very nice, by the way, to me on TikTok. So shout out to her. She's really awesome.
Well, she's our new social media producer, so she's been helping us out a lot. She made that Keandre video of me at the driving range with Rory's face and stuff. So
that's awesome.
She's been doing great work behind the scenes for us.
So do you have the Rangers in the playoffs? I'm curious.
I do. I have them in the playoffs. I have them as either the 2 or 3 out of the Metro. That's where I see it. I think they're going to get back there because.
What were you about to say in the captain situation?
I know. I want to go back to that, but I never got an answer.
I thought he said he did. I thought he said they were.
I do. No,
it's his favorite to get back in.
Yeah. And I think that they will. I think bottom line is that I think the Rangers will. I would be very surprised if they missed again.
It could be Rangers Devils again.
He'll be wishy-washy because he'll just keep talking and you'll never like. He won't commit, you got to get him in.
But he's good. He remembers all the other questions. He brings it back. He's got it.
Yeah.
So with regards to the Rangers captain situation, it's really interesting because it's like, do you go back to what you had before where you had like 6 alternates and nobody's really like the captain? No, I would not do that. It seems like to me that Mika Zibanejad doesn't want to be the captain because I thought for a while that was the next logical guy. I would probably this is a really interesting situation, but like I wonder how much of an influence that Adam Fox has in the locker room. I would imagine he has a pretty big influence for the type of player that he is. I would like to see Adam Fox become the next captain personally. I don't know if that's a popular or unpopular pick among Ranger fans. I can tell by Ed shaking his head. He hates
a top 3. I would.
His hat. Yeah, his hat's certainly
betting favorites. He'd be 3.
Where I think as a Rangers fan base is either going Trocheck or JT Miller. Right now.
Been there, done that.
I think I really like
McDonough. No,
JT. I mean, if you want an a-hole as your captain, sure, you can go with JT.
Well, I was about to ask you your opinion, so
that's what we do want. Yeah.
If that is the type of captain you want, then go with JT Miller.
I think that's the kind of captain you need in New York. I don't think that's a good captain.
You need another Mark Messier is what you need.
You need a guy who's going to be tough on everyone.
Just no BS.
No BS.
I don't think
no BS in Vancouver. That's for sure. He was
Well,
just no catch whatsoever. And like the other thing is that like you can
Yeah.
kind of see the energy that he had when he first came back to New York after getting traded, right? He was very
At
much
over a point per game pretty much the rest of the season.
so I think that makes a lot of sense. I still like the Adam Fox idea, but I get it. I also understand that Trocheck is another guy that he definitely brings a lot of energy, and a lot of guys like really react to him, on and off the ice. So you have some options. I just would like to see them actually have a captain as opposed to having 6 alternates again. I would like
Little Ed, how many alternates do you want with a captain? Just answer that real quick.
Well, we did our leadership episode. What did I say? I want the traditional just captain and 2 assistants. I think
Okay,
that's
so
all you're
then-
allowed to dress necessarily or whatever,
So-
right? That's what we went with.
They can
PJ?
do 2 per game, yeah, I think, because they do 2 road, 2 home. That's usually what they do.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I went JT Miller, Cooley, and Trocheck.
Nice. Okay, so here's my suggestion: the first 3 players to score overtime goals this year to win games. First one is the captain. The second one is an assistant. The third one is an assistant.
That would have made Sam Carrick the captain last
Yeah,
year.
3
so Sam
points in the
Carrick,
standings that you
captain.
get motivation for. 3 points in the standings.
Yeah. Will Cooley's going to be the captain like after game 1. That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
He should
But
be.
if they're gonna
he
have
should
the
be
home and
strong.
away, Fox can have an A, in my opinion.
I think it would be Miller, Trocheck, and Fox. Cooley eventually will wear a letter, though. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
And he does deserve it. I wouldn't be mad if he got one. I agree with you, Neil. They got to name a captain, though.
It sets
I
the
think
tone.
no team has ever won the cup without naming a captain,
One.
right?
And it's like
Giving a young guy a
like
letter
whatever.
sets the tone for the
you're an
rest of
original
the young
6
guys and
franchise,
everything.
and you're like, let's have 6 alternates. No, that's not a thing.
No.
Don't do that. That was really weird for years. So when they finally named Truba captain, I was like, well, at least they have
if
a
everyone's
captain now.
if everyone's a captain, no one's a captain.
Right. And that was the thing. And that to me, I love using this as an example. That to me was the demise of like the San Jose Sharks, for the 15 years where they were like, so dominant in the regular season. And then they get to the playoffs and something would happen. They made the one mistake of removing the captaincy from Joe Pavelski, and that changed everything. That was like, it was like, then they had like 4 alternates, and it's like, well, now we got, instead of looking at one guy that everybody follows, it's like we got to look to 4 different people who might have 4 different opinions on how this should get done. You need to have a true like guy that everybody says, this is our captain, this is who we look to when we need a boost. And I think from a guy who's going to hold guys accountable and bring that energy, I definitely think that JT Miller is up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I can tell you like
the whole 4 assistant captains, whether like the rotation on the home and a road, it's always been odd to me. It's almost like, I just thought of this now, like, do they want to sell more jerseys with like the A on the chest or something? Like, it's just like so weird that like the Rangers seem to be like the only team that do it. It's like it's almost like a charity case where it's like, oh yeah, here you go, Panarin, you can wear an A2.
Yeah.
It's like, here, you can be an A.
Maybe
It's like,
it's
why
a
do we
James
need 4
Dolan thing,
A's?
just
Like
wanting to
Neil
be-
just said, like you need to have 3 guys that you look to.
Yeah.
And then everyone else could be leaders on and off the ice. Like you don't have to wear a letter to be a leader.
Yeah.
That's
PJ, is that true about the league though? Is there no other team with more than
Only
2?
one. It was the Bruins in like 72, I think.
No, I mean assistant captains only 2.
Yeah.
Wait a
only-
minute.
I think it's
The
only one.
Bruins in 72, Esposito or Ken Hodge were. I think
Yeah,
Wayne
it was
Gretzky-
71, 72 were the only, they're the only 2. I said only 2 teams the NHL has won the Stanley Cup without a captain. They were the
that's not my
1970
question.
and 72 Bruins.
That's
Sorry.
not-
19, 2 different years.
Sorry, that wasn't my question. My question,
Oh.
Little Ed was saying like the Rangers are like one of the only teams that have more than 2. I'm just curious because I don't know the
Maybe
answer.
I just don't realize. Yeah, maybe. I just
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
me too. I never even thought of it. I just kind of assumed that every team does that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
No,
one of
I
those
think it's
things
very
about-
bizarre that like Mika's the assistant captain at home, and then like Kreider was the assistant captain away. It's like,
Yeah,
why do they all need to like talk to the ref or something? Like, what's the big?
they're all
Yeah.
well-deserving,
Yeah. Make Matt Rempe the captain at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a jersey sale situation. I'm going to ask Oscar about that when we have Oscar on.
Yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting point. I'm curious what other teams have as like an assistant.
The Devils have kept basically the same guys for several years now. Like,
Is it 3 though?
What, 3 alternates or 2 alternates?
No, I mean 1 and 2.
Yeah, we've had 1 and 2 this entire time. We had, Nico's the captain. Then you have. It's the weird thing though is that depending, like sometimes it changes only if like one of the guys who's an alternate is hurt. Then someone
Well,
else.
of course, it's going to change.
Because that's different. But really for the Devils, it's just Nico, Andre Palat, Dougie Hamilton. That's basically what it's been for like 2-3 years now. Hasn't changed.
Well, we're boring Coach with our captain's talk. I'm getting tired. Coach, I love those deck lights, man. I mentioned it in the video I made on the bike.
Needed the popcorn to keep me awake.
You got.
What a compliment to Neil you just gave him.
Oh, geez, so funny.
I'd like to
Looked
see
at a
Coach
late
sit
night
next
last
to me
night
at a
practice.
hockey game for 3 hours and see how much he can stand me.
Coach,
We're going to the Devils Ranger game. I'm pretty sure we have.
Oh,
those
when the
tickets.
first
I don't
time
know
we
which
played
date.
them in like what, March?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah, we play everybody else like every single time, and then it's like, oh, we'll play 3 play 3 out of 5 games against the same team. Yeah, that was great.
Didn't that happen with the Islanders last year with the Rangers?
Yeah, either last year or the year before.
Yeah, it was
I
the
think
year
we
when
had
they
a
played the first
mini-playoff
game of
series.
that outdoor game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really get it.
Wednesday, March 18th.
That's my birthday.
March.
I know. I was about to say.
That's funny.
I don't get it.
I don't know
Like,
if that's the first time. I don't know if that's the first time they're playing them. That's what tickets we have in our
March
in our
18th,
half
okay,
season
noted.
package. Yeah, March 18th.
Noted.
So we'll have to get you a ticket up on the bridge with us, and we'll have a good time and make some content. But before we let you go, we wanted to make it official this year that we're going to have like a mid-season rivalry tour during the Olympic break, Neil. So
Sure.
you're obviously our guest for the Devils, and we want to see where everyone's at this year.
Yeah.
Like we talk a lot before the season, but then we want to check in mid-season and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have PJ make a clip of what you said tonight and see if it holds up in January.
Exactly.
But we don't
my
need to
honest
do that because we got
opinion of Jack
Coach's
Hughes.
numbers. Jeez.
Just can Jack Hughes
funny.
stay healthy? Well, let's fast forward 3 months.
Yeah,
Neil,
exactly.
the second Jack Hughes blows his shoulder
3
out in November, Neil's going to
months.
cancel the mid-season episode.
Yeah.
No, Coach on Twitter is gonna just like retweet just like a clip. You're like, yep. That's
At the MVP show.
No, Neil does not back down from anything because that was the first thing I commented on like Rupper's thing was at Devil State of Mind. We are talking about it this year at the Rivalry Tour. And he said, yep,
All
bring
right,
it
I
on.
do
Let's go.
Yeah.
So he's never going to back down from a
Bro.
challenge.
I love that whole segment because what I loved is that Rupper said that, and then Brian Boyle was like, "Look, respectfully, like,
Yeah.
no, just
Yeah.
no." And it's like for me, I think Mike Rupp, he's more of a Devils homer than anything. Like to be honest, like, and Brian Boyle's different. Like, yeah, Boyle also played for the Devils, but he's like more of a Ranger guy. But he's also
Well, he has a Rangers podcast for sure.
he also has a brain. That's the thing. But it's just it was so fascinating when he said it, and I'm like, wow, the NHL must be really bored. Like somebody must have told him to say something. Like I just
This whole off season, nothing's happened. It's been in such a bore fest.
Yeah.
I think Coach wanted to say something. I think I didn't hear him.
Rupper was praising him on NHL Network like prior to the playoffs last year. He was really pumping him up. He loves Hughes.
His theory is that if he says it enough, at some point it's going to happen, and then he's going to be able to like go back to the last 30 clips that he's put on.
I just think some people like the play style of certain players, and Hughes. We say he's arrogant. We're Ranger fans. If we were, Kraken fans, we might think he was just a confident kid and an exciting player. We might not hate him, So I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm not going to.
Surprising that Rupp would say that because he's not that type.
I like Rupper. I don't know. Little Ed likes Rupper, and we're all disappointed.
I love Rupper. That's why I was so shocked by it.
Yeah.
The only time I didn't like Rupper was in 2012 when he just, for no reason, just decided to push Marty just because and started a whole thing, which is one of my favorite clips because then you have Steven Gianta trying to jump on top of Rupp and he just falls over because just he can't.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like I've seen that clip from that 2012 line brawl like 100 times over the last like couple of weeks. Like people be
It was
sending
on
me
today again.
It's probably gonna be.
Well, Keandre was involved in the last one, so we'll need another tough guy for this one.
Keandre Miller
posted on Instagram.
Keandre Miller's the reason John Marino isn't a Devil anymore. So there you go.
Keandre Miller
scared him off the team.
Posted that picture on Instagram and wrote like "Meet me with the boys" or something like that. It was like his first.
Meet me in the alley with the troops.
Yeah, meet me in the alley with the troops. Such a loser.
That's crazy.
Did he like get him with the short thing? Like he went like this on the ice, like he was so little.
He hit him. He hit John Marino with like the "you're too small" thing, and I'm like, dude, what is this, basketball?
Why are you fighting John Marino? Like that's
right.
Well, because everybody was going for somebody. I think Miller just saw Marino by himself and he's like, I'm just gonna go after you then.
You're wrong. He looked at Marino and he said, "I'm fighting that guy." That's what
I'm not gonna lose to him.
That's what happened.
I miss the days of like I miss when like Stu Bickle would fight people. That's what I did. I miss Stu. I miss the Stu Bickle Ryan Carter rivalry.
We're at the Stu Bickle part of the episode.
Yeah.
2 minutes of ice time, 5 minutes in the box.
Oh, jeez. Stu Bickle taking face-offs. Anyway, Neil, thank you so much for coming on and giving us all this time talking Devils Rangers. We're looking forward to the season. Hopefully, I'm rooting against the Devils. I hope they're in last place, but hopefully for the sake of banter, they're competitive and the Rangers are too, and it's a fun year. And especially when you tell me you said you're wrapping up your podcast this year because you're going to school or you're taking a break from it.
It's not even that. It's just
you feel bad to root against the Devils.
I won't be at as many games as I normally am because I'll be doing.
Yeah, he's going to be recording it from upstate New York, not New Jersey.
York, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
So you're going to be in New York or rooting for New Jersey? Got it.
Yeah, I've done it before.
At Syracuse University. Go Orange, baby.
There you go.
All right, Neil. Thank you for coming on, buddy. We'll have you back mid-season. Good luck with your show. Enjoy hockey coming back.
Plug in. Tell everyone where we can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check out the Devil State of Mind podcast at Devil State over on Twitter. Devil State of Mind on both Instagram and Facebook as well. Check out the podcast on YouTube. I'm literally like one subscriber away from 150. So thank you so much, Blue Line Blue Shirts. Appreciate it. He actually just followed me on Instagram, so thank you for that. And you can check out my personal Twitter, which is right there, the MVP Show. I also have an Instagram too. Just search Neil Villapiano. And again, you can check out the podcast wherever you listen to it, Apple, Spotify, Devil State of Mind. And if anybody on here that's also a Devils fan that happened to be watching tonight, give these guys a follow as well, please. Because even though the Rangers guys, these guys are awesome. They do a lot of great stuff. They really get you a lot of awesome content. I've been friends with them for several years now, and please go do so because these guys are awesome. And I really hope we can get together for a game and meet in person because that would be great. I would really
get something going in.
Mark the calendar, March 18th, baby. We'll do
March
it.
March 18th, got it.
They don't play in New Jersey.
They do March 7th.
I think we play the Rangers once in New Jersey and twice in New York.
Yeah, but do you want to go to New Jersey?
It's cheaper.
I'm not opposed to it.
Figure it out, buddy.
Available.
If you want to risk taking NJ Transit, be my guest. I'm not going to stop.
Oh, that was brutal.
It was brutal.
And you were taking it 2 stops, not even like a full hour. You were taking 2 stops.
All right, we'll get in touch, Neil. Have a good time. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil, we're going to send your highlight reel to Coach, by the way. The broadcast reel you posted, I'm going to send it to Coach.
Yeah, you can send that to him. And also go Stony Brook, by the way. Stony Brook hockey.
Good luck. Good luck with announcing
everything.
Those soccer games.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep it up, Neil.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Be well.
Take care, bud. Good luck.
Love you, buddy. I'll talk soon.
Later, guys.
Coach.
Chirping the soccer games.
What are you doing, man?
I love Neil. Off the rails.
I love Neil. I want to go to
I
the
love
game.
Neil. He's great. He really is. What a good hockey fan and objective guy, man. Really like Neil.
Yeah, he knows his shit for sure.
Yeah, he knows that. He knows a lot. He's definitely a good follow. Check him out. Even if you don't care about the Devils, he's very honest in his assessments, and sometimes you get the rose-colored glasses like we do with certain things, but
No, like it jumped out at me when he was talking about like the different options of like Luke Hughes' contract. I was like, this guy should be talking about the Devils like objectively on like a bigger platform. Like he knows what he's talking about. Like he's very well spoken, and I mean, he's by himself over there at Devil State in Mind, so he gets plenty of practice. So like might sound long-winded at times, but he's just full of information.
Yeah.
So much love, yet so much information.
Oh god! All right, well, boys, it was great coming back. I'm excited to get back in the swing of things here.
Yeah, and before we go, we got to pitch what we forgot in the beginning of the show. A reminder of the suite.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Another thing we mentioned right before we started recording and did not talk about. Yeah, so we got
so excited you were back. That's it.
We got the suite. October 12th is a Sunday against Washington, the second game of the year. Little Ed, we got the tickets in already, right?
Yes, they're on my phone. If you send over the funds, I'll send you over a ticket right away. So
yeah,
it's official without a doubt. Definitely a few tickets sold so far, but we got plenty left. So hit us up on Instagram.
How many tickets in total are there? Not sold, but just general for the suite. Like how many people?
42 people. Last year was a huge success. I mean, we didn't really talk about it much yet on air. Last year was a huge success. Everyone was so nice, so appreciative. Henrik Lundqvist was in the booth, coincidentally recording the pregame show with John Giannone. So he signed a few autographs. Fio,
a jersey and a hat for me.
Yeah, Fio was able to get her jersey signed. Our ticket rep brought me a Rangers Winter Classic jersey that Lundqvist signed. It was incredible. I can't promise that that's going to happen again this year, but we do have the same exact suite. So if MSG is doing the same exact show, then we will be able to maybe have these same opportunities.
Not a national game, so very possible.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be awesome. And obviously all the food and stuff is included, like the general buffet that MSG provides. So that's included with the cost. And like I said, it's just a great opportunity to meet other fans. Don't be afraid to come by yourself. If you don't have someone to go with and you just want to buy one ticket, everyone's going to be there hanging out. It's more of like a group setting. You're not really like sitting in the game, like crammed in. You'll be able to walk around and talk to people a little bit more. So
there are some seats though if you want to watch the game, but it's just not like
everyone gets a seat. I'm just saying like it's more of like a group atmosphere. It's not like you're crammed in and you have to like say excuse me to go to the bathroom. It's more of like a hangout. Last year it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so definitely DM Rangers Ed Pod on Instagram or reach out on
Twitter
if you're or on X, I guess.
And also, if you don't have social media, you can always email us as well. Rangers.ed1994, correct?
At
gmail.com.
Is it Rangers.ed or Rangers.ed?
There's both, but it's the Rangers.ed one. I have a contact for Little Ed, and I think I have like 6 emails for it. Make sure I get it.
Little Ed Workshop.
7 Instagram handles, so that checks out.
Yeah, so definitely.
And then he'll get mad when you use a different one. No, use this one. All right, I didn't know which one to use.
All right, well, definitely join us for that. I'll be there. So it's going to be fun, and the whole gang will be there. PJ's going to be there, Little Ed, Coach. So definitely reach out, join us. Tickets are going. We can't tell you when they'll sell out. They could sell out tomorrow. They could sell out in a month. I have no idea. So if you're interested in going, just reach out and, let's get it going. Hockey's back September 18th, training camp.
17th is first ice day is the 18th. They report the 17th with
and the rookie series camp that we'll be at is next weekend.
DJ, you asked, I answered.
Okay, first ice day is 18th.
They check in and they get weighed in on the 15th. They get their pre-practice meal on the 16th.
They measure their femurs on the 13th, and then
they do the fitness testing that day actually, and the media stuff. So when you see the jumbotron, do all the fancy stuff. They do all that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just funny. You are what Coach Ed always said I was, PJ. You are. It's fun. It's just funny to that is hilarious, Okay, ice on the 18th. What?
What did you say?
I said what you always said I was like being like so specific
Crazy?
like that.
Crazy.
Oh, no, I was gonna take it as a compliment. Maybe I'm not.
It
now.
is no, it is a compliment. Totally a compliment.
Detail oriented. That's
You
why
know
he's a
your
great
stuff,
producer.
dude. Yeah, you're detail oriented. You know
All
your stuff, man. It's a compliment, 100%. Anyway, before this goes off the rails, I don't even know what was I even saying. Hockey's back this month. Let's all get excited. I'm excited to be back. Rivalry Tour is kicking. Get back in the swing of things. We're gonna have a preseason episode closer to when the season starts, so be ready for that. I think we can tease that a little bit in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do our predictions like we do every year, all that stuff. We got stops with Philly, Pittsburgh, and the Islanders left.
Islanders are next week. Yep.
Yeah, the Islanders, those boys are great at Hockey Night in New York, so it's going to be fun. Yeah, just excited. We got some good stuff kicking.
Don't forget our fantasy league when that comes out.
Oh, geez. Forget if Mikey P makes the league.
Yeah,
we'll get that going.
He'll do it.
You know, I just want to shout out the three of you for a great job this summer. You know, I wasn't around doing outlines and hosting the show, and you all picked up, a little bit of steam picked it up a little bit or whatever you want to say. And you did a great job. I was listening, as you could tell from the videos I posted. I didn't respond to everything. I didn't want to, create chaos, but we're going to have some good banter this year. It's going to be fun. So shout out to you guys. Great job.
Looking forward
boys.
to it, especially
Yes,
a better
sir.
season from the Rangers.
God, I hope so, man. Can you imagine doing this podcast every week with another year like last year?
I don't think we can do
Don't
it.
even put it into
honestly, so
existence.
let's go. It falls into their hands, folks.
All right, guys.
I don't think they
Love
want
you guys. No.
See you next week. Shout out to our sponsors. We'll get all you guys in when we start the season. But you guys,
All
shout
right,
out
boys.
to the
Have a good
listeners.
day. Have a good night.
Love you guys.
Love
See you
you
next
guys.
Love you
Peace
guys.
out.
Peace.